Hi guys, Dave here, G7IYK in Bristol, southwest UK. So this is, I've just set the radio up and a couple of new toys I've acquired. So there's a contest on today, quite a big one I think actually, on sideband SSB. So lots of guys shouting call signs and contest. Contesting is not something that I'm particularly into, but it is quite handy if you want to, effectively achieve lots of radio checks. Yeah, the Xiegu X6100, obviously X6100, but that's not what I'm going to be talking about specifically. So I think I posted earlier in the group, maybe last week or the week before, I acquired this Micro PA50 linear amplifier. So you can see how small it is. It's quite, with respect to the radio. So it's 50 watts, fully automatic, auto band switching, power protection at about protection kicks in for the power at about 56 watts, something like that, and auto SWR protection, which kicks in at about SWR of about 2, just over 2, and then at that point it will bleep at you, flash the red TX light, and effectively disable the PA. And then to re-enable the PA again, you just push the function button, and it works really well. So it's completely automatic. There's no communication connection with the radio. You just literally key up on whatever band you want, and it auto detects the band and switches. So it has a set of output low pass filters. So it does have output filtering, which obviously is essential, so you don't blat or RF all down the band. So yeah, it's really nice, works really well. The only little problem, it's not a problem, there's nothing wrong with the PA. When I'm out using it, this is set up in the shack, but this is not my shack setup. I use the ever popular 7300 for that. I want this setup for mobile, or in the car, not mobile as in driving, but in the car, in a picnic site just outside of Bristol, which I currently frequent to do a bit of DXing in the car of a Sunday afternoon, and also when I'm down at the caravan down in Devon. So it's like a mobile setup, if you like. I can sort of throw it in a bag and take it with me, and it's quite compact. Because this Micro PA50 has got SWR protection, SWR of 2, on the car I'm using a series of ham sticks, so monoband antennas, basically base-loaded whip antennas. I find them great. They're pretty cheap. They're about sort of £20–25, and I've got a 10 meter, a 15 meter, and a 20 meter one. So yeah, and they take just a few moments to swap out. They're great. The only issue with them is they on certain bands they're quite narrow band in terms of narrow band width. So what can tend to happen is that the SWR could be a little bit more than 2. And I was finding that this Micro PA50 amplifier would tend to go into get a bit distressed if the SWR was over 2, for obvious reasons, because it's not a good idea. It's quite not a good idea to run 50 watts into a high SWR in such a small amplifier if you don't want to damage the output stage. So it would occasionally tend to trip out, which is absolutely fine. That's what it's designed to do. It doesn't happen in the workshop because obviously my antennas are wider bandwidth and better matched. But on the car, you tune the antenna for a particular frequency, and then you might move to the other end of the band, and it might just peak over and trip the SWR protection. So what I decided to do, because I really, really, really like the Micro PA50, it's a brilliant little amplifier. It's absolutely solid. But what I've added to the mix is this little antenna tuner, which is also very, very cute and nice. It's the AT-100M. You've got to be a little bit careful if you're shopping for these, because there's lots of clones out there. This is I bought this AT-100M from an official outlet, yeah, there's an AT-100s, there's various different manifestations and clones of this, but I think this is a, if you like, genuine article. So basically it's a completely automated antenna tuner. So it's plumbed with a little pigtail to the back of the Micro PA50. Again, it's all fully automatic. In fact, what's also really, really nice about it is it's got an internal battery. So I took delivery of this yesterday, and it was about 50% charged, and I haven't even charged it, and I've been using it for several hours just off the charge out of the box. It's got a USB is it C-type? The newer USB connection in the back for charging, and they say it charges in about 3 or 4 hours, and then you should be good for about sort of 15 hours, at least 15 hours of use. Well, I've been using it for several hours out of the box, and what's it at now? I'll just turn it off and turn it back on. 62%, and I've been using it sort of most of yesterday, and I haven't even charged it yet. So yeah, it's great. So I thought I'd give a little demonstration of using this. Predominantly this is to demonstrate the antenna tuner rather than the 6100 or the PA, although obviously they all be part of the demo, as it were. So yeah, I'll be back in a bit with a little demo. Cheers. Hi guys, Dave back again, G7IYK. So I've sort of zoomed in on the Micro PA50 and the AT-100M auto tuner. So yeah, I thought I'd do a little demonstration of it actually automatically tuning. What I've done is I've moved the Xiegu X6100 to the 80 meter band. I'm on 3.790 meg, which is I might point out is clear. There's nobody there. I've checked before anybody complains, because I am connected to the antenna. The reason I've moved to 80 meters is my antennas in the shack tend to be reasonably well matched. I mean, certainly below 1.5, 1.6 to 1 on the SWR. Now the tuner, you can set, there's lots of menu functions, well lots, there's a few menu functions, one of which allows you to set the threshold, the SWR threshold, after which it will automatically tune. You can also disable the auto tuning as well and do it all manually if you want. It's quite flexible. I'll show you some of the menu options in a minute. I'm not going to go through them in masses of detail because they're all fairly self-explanatory. Yeah, so it's in an auto tuning mode, and the threshold set 2 to 1 for the SWR. So I've moved to 80 meters because I know my 130 foot end fed is not particularly well matched on 80 meters, or certainly not this part of the 80 meter band. So I'm hoping that the SWR will be high enough for it the tuner to trigger with an SWR threshold of 2 to 1. So anyway, so let's turn it on. I've also so it comes with a little splash screen. It's now at 61% on the battery. You get various little screens before I actually demo it. So there's SWR and forward power sort of bar graph. That's the screen I prefer. This little screen's kind of cute. It shows there's obviously 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 inductive capacitive pairs in there for the auto tuning, and these little boxes, they fill in to tell you which inductors and capacitors it's decided to use. They're all empty at the moment because I've reset the tuner in the menu, so it's got no memory of any tuning, and it's not tuned at the moment. There's another little SWR bar graph. I don't know how useful these are, but so I prefer that one because it gives you SWR forward and reflected power. What was I say? Yeah, so it remembers when you're on a particular frequency or band. I forget how many memories it's got. I think it's 16 or 32 memories, and you can also put them into different user groups as well. And it will remember the settings, so it's not continuously auto tuning. And when you switch it on and move to a band, if you've been there before and it's within the SWR limit and it's all got a memory, then it will use that memory, or you can clear the memory and auto tune again. It's entirely up to you. So without further ado, I'll stop wittering and actually do it. So we're at 5 watts. We're on AM because we need. I want a continuous carrier, so it's got something to tune with. Yeah, 5 watt input. So if I key up, hopefully. Oh, one other point before I do this. The Micro PA50, as I said before, it's got a SWR 2 to 1 threshold before it will trip out and it won't transmit, and it will go into a sort of disable itself for its own protection. So that could be a little bit of a problem if this keys up, this isn't tuned, this starts tuning, so the SWR goes nuts, and then this will trip out, and then this combination is not going to work. But luckily, if you push and hold the Micro PA button, you can very easily turn the PA on and off. So it's on there. Obviously, if I turn the PA off, so with the PA off, it's effectively disabled all of its protection because the PA's off, and in this particular mode it's effectively just a power and SWR meter. It's straight through just measuring power and SWR. So with the PA turned off, I can tune and then turn the PA back on again, and then it should then obviously be driving into a tuned load. So right, so PA's off and I'll just auto tune. I think it came up with 1.23, pretty good tune. 1.23 to 1, so that's quite good. So if I turn the PA back on, now we're at a 5 watt input. I'm not sure if this is going to trip the PA out on overpower, so we'll give it a go. What I'll do is I'll reduce the radio power to 3 watts, so 3 watts in from the radio, and then see what sort of power we get and what sort of SWR we get. I won't transmit for too long because I think really this PA is probably best suited for SSB rather than AM, FM or long transmissions. So there we go, look, it tripped out 57 watts. It's because we're on 80 meters. I'll reduce that to so I'll reduce the power to 2 watts. We'll try again. 49 watts. So 49 watts, and so we got, I won't keep for too long because 49 watts here, 49 watts here, SWR 1.7, SWR 1.7-ish. So these two are pretty much agreeing with each other within a watt and within a few. Okay, so I thought so. We've just auto-tuned on 80 meters. If you want to manually tune, let's just make sure the PA's turned off. Right, the PA's off. You can press and hold this. It goes wait. Well, the reason it's waiting is because there's no RF power. Obviously, it can't tune without an input. So if I key up now, so the PA's off, and we've just told it to auto-tune. We've just told it to tune. Right, that was quick. 1.14. So let me just reset that again. Right, reset. Wait. .15. So 1.51 to 1. So I'll turn the PA back on. Now I might point out I'm expecting this to trip the overpower on the PA. So this would be a nice demonstration of the overpower protection on the PA, because I'm driving 5 watts into the PA, and I know on 80 meters that the PA will with a 5 watt input will output more than the 56 watt limit and will trip the power protection. So this is a nice demonstration of the PA50 overpower protection. So here we go, 5 watts, AM, 3.79 meg. There we go. So it tripped at 58.2 watts, as it should. So if I reset that, I'll lower the radio input power to 2 watts. So on the Xiegu, you're only getting 1 watt step, so somewhere between 2 and 3 watts would have been good. But I'll do 2 watts, see what we get. So so the tuner's tuned. The PA is I'll make sure it's enabled. Right, so on. So we'll key up. Okay, so 47 watts, 48 watts. This is saying 46 watts. The PA is reporting 1.2 to 1. The tuner's reporting 1.2 to 1. So within a watt or so, they're agreeing on power and they're agreeing on SWR. So all good. So I'll be back in a minute, and the fan on the PA's literally just kicked in. It's very quiet, and it kicks in every now and again. So I'll be back in a minute to demo a different band. Okay, back again, G7IYK. So I'm now on 40 meters, so 7.150 meg. It's quite busy on 40 meters today because there's a contest going on, but I have checked that there's there are a couple of very weak signals in band, but they're very weak, so I don't think I'm going to disturb them too much on a radio. No, I don't think so. Hopefully not. Anyway, sorry if I do. Anyway, so let's just quickly key up and I'm on AM again. So okay, so 1.49. So my antenna is about 1.5 to 1 on this band, because it's, you know, it's I've tuned them to be reasonably well matched. So the tuner is not going to kick in, obviously, because it's under 1.1, under 2 to 1. So if I wanted to tune, as I did before, I could just push and hold, and it'll wait. I'm again outputting 5 watts from the Xiegu, so we'll tune up. Well, basically 1 to 1, 1.02 to 1, so 1 to 1 to all intents and purposes. Now, so if I turn the PA on, I don't know whether this will trip the PA. Again, 5 watts for this Micro PA is its recommended maximum input power, which is, yeah, I'd say that's for SSB, that's fine. So I might actually just notch it down to 4 watts. So I'm putting 4 watts into the PA. AM 7.150 meg. So let's see what we get. 52 watts, 50 watts. SWR 1.06, 1.06. So they're in a watt or two of each other on power, and the SWR reported is identical. So if I go to 5 watts, I wonder if that'll trip the PA. 53. No, so if I take it down to 3 watts, this 3 watts in. 42, 47, 46 watts. 2 watts in. 39 watts, and 1 watt in. 13, 14 watts, and they again agree. So if I take it back to 4 watts, 50 watts, 50 watts, match 1 to 1. So I'll do another little. I'll turn the PA off, reset, do one more little auto tune demo. One to 1 again. So yeah, quickly I'll just demonstrate the menu. I'm not going to go into a huge amount of detail here. Where's my crib sheet? You get a crib sheet with all the menu. It's quite nice. It's not a manual as such, because it's so simple. It doesn't even really require a manual. I'll just put the piece of paper there so I got some idea what's going on. So to go into you basically turn it off, hold the function button, turn it on. I don't know if you can see that. So it's I'll just very quickly go through the menu items very quickly. Beep on off, user count, which is the user defined memory, where you want to put your memories. Auto tune, yes or no. Number of tune results automatically stored, 10 at the moment. What have we got else? Oh yeah, there's your SWR set to 1.8 at the moment, so I could you just push and hold if you want to change it. So I've taken that up to SWR of 2, push and hold again to go back to the menus. There's a delay function, step, what's that? Tuning step depth, yeah. There's a tuning minimum for the ADC. Leave that all this you don't need to touch. You can select the radio between 100 watts and so up to 100 watt input or a 10 watt input if you're running like SSB, QRP. Various settings. What are these? Calibration power, calibration SWR. You don't need to touch any of this. You can test the relay, do an auto test for the relay, auto test the ADC, and then you can do a reset. So if I want to do a reset, just push and hold that, reset. There you go. Turn it off, turn it back on again. Back in functional mode. It's gone to its default display. Go like that. Turn the PA off. Turn it on, turn it off. Key up. 1.4, 1.5, again 1.5. Auto tune, 1 to 1. So yeah, there we go. Let me just go and have a little think a minute and see if I can think of anything else I want to say about it. But I suppose we could try and make a contact. That might be fun. Back in a minute. Golf 7 India Yankee Kilo.
Golf 7 India Yankee Kilo at 59551.
Thank you very much, QSL. You are 59 and you are my 001, over.
Roger, thank you, 73. ATU, Mexico 9 Charlie.
Delta Golf 1 Echo, Delta Golf 1 Echo, CQ contest.
Golf 7 India Yankee Kilo.
Golf 7 again?
Golf 7 India Yankee Kilo, QSL.
Yes, okay, Golf 7 India Yankee Kilo 59, your number 077, number 77.
QSL, you are 59002, QSL.
Super 002, good luck.
Golf 7 India Yankee Kilo. QSL, you are 59003. Golf 7 India Yankee Kilo. Golf 7 India Yankee Kilo. QSL 59004.
Thanks, Echo 74 America, contest.
Okay, there's a little demo of a few contacts. I think for pretty much everybody heard me, the PA and the auto tuner performing perfectly. So yeah, I'm looking forward to chucking them in the bag and then taking them out in the car. So yeah, hope to catch you on one of the bands. Anybody that's bothered to listen this far, and yeah, I will disappear and go mobile. Golf 7 India Yankee Kilo clear.